So all it took to get Mistra's attention was to learn how to reforge an artifact that once destroyed her. It's obvious when you stop to think about it. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Now I'm just a regular wizard holding the blueprint for greatness. Mistra knows I've read Carsus's designs. I'm certain of that. It clearly has her shaken. This is a conversation that's long overdue on both sides. I owe it to her to hear her out. Come what may afterwards. After you.
You make 5 points. No fish, only chicken, beef, and no pork either. It'd be your body. I see it, sweetie. Oh, stay. You're slouching.
Stories, get them right here.
You've got nothing to do with the absolute.
I wouldn't expect you to have various allegiance. You're sexy, aren't you?
Please, just let us go and we'll be out of your way.
You can go once we're done with you.
Start by standing on a ladder, so they can actually see you. Sometimes I wonder why we're even friends.
That's just the steel watch don't want it. They die.
Afternoon.
Portash didn't need you.
We know you will drive back the army of the Alps.
In my opinion, we should have a still watch in every margarine.
Mistra.
And then what?
It's been some time since I stood before her in a place like this.
There she stands, just as Elminster promised. Mistra, goddess of the weave, mother of all magic.
The old man wasn't lying. She's opened the summoning channel. Can't you feel it?
Gale's right. The very air around the statue crackles with magic. It sets your teeth on edge.
A stream of pure, undiluted weave. I only have to reach out, and it will carry me to Mistra, wherever she may be.
Go on then, Gale. We'll be here waiting for you when you're finished.
Time was, I'd have given my right arm for a chance to speak with Mistra again. The left one, too. Maybe a knee. Am I? You're right. I am a strong, capable wizard. And this is no more than a casual reunion with an ex-lover. My omnipotent, omniscient ex-lover. I always wonder what being nervous would feel like. I hate it. You're kind to say so, but this is hardly my first time in Mistra's presence. It's more the matter of what I'm going to say to her. During my time locked away in Waterdeep, I prepared a quite comprehensive speech for her on the subject of our former relationship and the manner in which it ended. Alas, recent events have rendered the majority of it moot, so I'm going to have to improvise. Unless you have any words of wisdom to impart before I go. summoning channel Mystra has provided is one only I can enter. No matter how much I prefer not to face her alone. You'd make a fine three-dragon anti-player, you know? I think it's best I keep a cool head going into this. Approach it like a particularly high-risk round of three-dragon ante. I'll let Mistress show her flight, and then I can see how strong a chance we stand of winning the gambit. I'll only be gone for a matter of moments. The Outer Planes experience time quite differently to our own. Wait for me. Please.
Gale of Waterdeep. You look well.
As do you. But I assume we're not here solely to exchange compliments. So why am I here?
You discovered what lies at the heart of the Absolute, the crown of Karsus. And you disobeyed my instruction. Why?
Because you had no right to ask that of me. You cast me out. Remember?
You were my lover, my chosen. Yet still you know so little of me. The past cannot be undone with self-pity, nor can a future be forged. Only with the truth will you see the way ahead. The fragment of magic you tried to return to me was not of my creation. It was the Karsite Weave. It is a corrupted, half-born magic, wrought in the brief moment Karsus ascended to godhood. It hungers for power, just as he did, and it can never be sated. You unleashed something that would consume all magic in existence, and yet you thought only of preserving yourself.
So that's what you're scared of. With the crown of Karsus reforged, I could take control of the Karsite Weave.
You can no more control the Karsite Weave than a weather vane could control a storm. That it entered your body and consumed no more than your powers was a miracle. But we will not be granted another. The only reason the orb sleeps is because I have allowed it to feed on the true weave. A temporary measure, but one that will not be enough to save us. With each day that passes, the Elder Brain threatens to become a new kind of god. Its worshippers, a scourge of soulless illithids. If you will not use the orb to end this abomination, then you must find a way to separate crown and host. When you've done this, you must surrender the crown of Karsus to me.
A great ask indeed. You've given me much to think on. As you always did.
So be it. Follow the needle of your own wisdom. We shall see how truly it leads you.
Back on mortal soil once more. I can't believe I saw him. After all this time. Relieved. Drained. Proud of myself for summoning the courage to go to her in the first place, and, if I'm being totally honest, a bit lightheaded. As if it wasn't enough to have seen her again. She didn't exactly summon me there for small talk. The Karsite Weave. Within me this whole time. I knew the orb was no ordinary ball of magic before it to be Karsus's malignant creation. Gods! How did I not see that? True enough. There's a reason such unwitting heroes have been the backbone of lyric and legend for as long as both have existed. Even so, I was hardly some naive apprentice at the time. I considered myself an archmage, and yet was fool enough to be mistaken for a common conjurer. At least now I'm armed with the truth, and Mistra's expectations. Sounds like the door to redemption is open at last. All I have to do is walk through it, carrying the crown of Karsus. Perhaps. I see few other options open to me. If I ever want to reclaim those parts of myself the orb snatched away. If I ever want to be me again. I'll have to disagree with you there. Having not one, but two parasitic entities within your body does very little for one's faith in one's personality. Still, I should take the compliment with the same generosity it was given, so... thank you. If I could promise you one thing in return for your faith in me, it's this. I will use everything in my power to ensure we defeat this evil. I will not let you down. Now, I believe we've a date with an Elder Brain to get to. Shall we?
So, Gale's hedging his bets with Mistra? I can't say I blame him. Who'd want to hold a power like the crown of Karsus in their hands just to hand it to someone else? I know what my decision would be, but we're all different, of course.
Wow. So that was Mistra. Pretty spectacular stuff. But I think Gale was right not to agree to do her bidding, no questions asked. I respect the gods, but they don't always understand what they're asking of us. Maybe immortality makes it hard to know what it's like to be one of us piggies. Proud of Gale, though. It takes some man to hold his own in front of the divine.
Stay back! Stay calm. Warning you. Standard procedure. Gortash just wants to make sure that there is no misinformation.
Tempers are rising.
Hey, cut it out, will you? I've got deliveries to manage.
Watch yourself in there.
Can I call you Edward? I do support Lord Gortash.
Hang on! You're not allowed down in the basement!
Afraid I'll have to ask you to stop there. Only Etfard's allowed to use the basement elevator.
We trust our readers to make up their own minds.
Well, well, if it isn't the city's next celebrity. You star in our next edition's top story. Well, you should have considered that before disgracing yourself in public. I've never heard so much violence against innocent circus freaks before. The truth will be out with tomorrow's broadsheet. People will spit in your face. Your very presence will be bad for business. You'll be a pariah, an outcast, as you should be. And then, we can only hope the Fist do their duty and escort you to the gallows. Your days of scumming up this good city streets will be over. I would never reveal my sources, and certainly not to the likes of you. Besides, you're too late. The headlines are loaded into the print works already. Tomorrow, you will feel the power of free speech. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. Now, guards! I believe our distinguished guest was just leaving. Would you care to escort them out?
In my have a still watching every Baldurian home.
156, 157, 15. Oh, sorry, can't chat. 15. Shit! Where was I up to? Oh, thank Corellin. You're a lifesaver. 158, 159.
Baldur's Mouth.
People don't always know their own lines. You've got to keep them
safe. Why, yes, Edvard. Can I call you Edvard? Well, Edvard, I do not question their authority.
Do you know how hard it was to get those cabbages into the city? Nigh on impossible. My beautiful cabbage.
This is Joel's house. No letters, no clerics, no herb sellers, no potion peddlers, and no steel watch.
Have a lot on my mind and, well, in it. bet I can crack that open. Still me, even after everything.
Everyone has to contribute, my darling. We all have to take care of each other.
I'm grateful to be here, I am. But I thought we'd arrive as a family. Not like this.
Good luck getting some kip up here. I'd stuff your ears if I were you.
What do I think of Lord Gortash's still watch? Well, I am so glad you asked, Edvard. Why, yes. I'd love to do an interview.
Oh, sorry.
Look, I just packed the papers. If you've got a complaint, edit it.
Listen, pal, if you're not moving my share of broadsheets, you're...
The truth is the truth. We trust our readers to make up their own